So let's finish for today at least. What do you think about this one? Don't be bashful. Yeah, so the square root's isolated, so we can just square both sides, right? So when we square both sides, I guess I should write that, square. What will we get on the left? X plus 3, that's the easiest part of the whole problem, right there. I hope some of you are figuring out what we're going to get on the right. X squared minus how many? No. 6x plus 9. Who do you need? Oh, okay. Yeah, that reminds me. I should probably take attendance, shouldn't I? Fail. All right, guys, remember, if you FOIL this with itself, you're going to get a negative 3x and a negative 3x, which gives you negative 6x. Remember, square the first piece, multiply those together and double it, which gives you this, and then square the last piece. Either way, if you write it out and FOIL it, or if you remember the shortcut, you're going to get that. Let's finish it. Yeah, set it equal to 0. Subtract x, subtract 3. Minus x minus 3. 0 equals x squared minus 7x plus 6. Now what? Factor that baby. What does it factor into? X minus 6, x minus 1. Negative 6, negative 1, multiply to give you 6, add to give you negative 7. Woohoo! X equals 6, x equals 1. Plug it in. So I'm plugging it in this one right here. So, what was one of them? 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 6 minus 3, 3. Cool. The other one was 1, correct? 1 plus 3 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 1 minus 3, negative 2. Oops. Now, by the way, this isn't saying that 1 will never work, okay? You just have to plug it in and check. It's possible that both of them will work. It's possible that neither of them will work. So you just have to check it every time. Be disciplined. Okay. We're going to, at the very least, start this next one. It's hard to say whether we'll finish it, but we're going to try. All right, here we go. Square root of 3x plus 1 minus the square root of x plus 4 equals 1. I think it's fairly obvious why this one is significantly uglier than the other one. And note that you can't just subtract those square roots. Do not get 2x minus 3. That's not how those combine. Those don't combine at all. And some kids would say, well, You got two square roots, they're on the side by themselves, just square both sides. But keep in mind that if you do that, you would have to FOIL that with itself. Yuck. Ugh. Better plan would be to isolate one of the radicals and then square it to get rid of it, and then work with the other one. So, let's isolate one radical. Which radical do you want to move? Yeah, how about the one with the minus? And quite frankly, I would, if there's a minus in front of the radical, I would always move that radical, because I can't tell you how many times kids will mess up because when they square both sides, they'll forget to square the minus, because the minus would become a plus at that point. And then they mess the entire problem up. Happens on the test. I can tell you that. I probably have said too much, but I don't really care because it's my test. I can do whatever the heck I want. All right, so we can move this, right? So then I would have the square root of 3x plus 1 equals 1 plus the square root of x plus 4. If I square both sides, I can kill off one of the radicals, and then there's only one ugly piece that I have to deal with. So I square that. The left-hand side is easy. The right-hand side, you've got to FOIL that with itself. So if I just kind of write this again, and we FOIL these together, what would we get? Don't even worry about simplifying it right now. Let's just get it in its rawest form and go from there. So if you FOIL that out, what's the first thing you're going to get? Oh, come on. What's that times that? 1. Plus 1 times that would just be x plus 4 in square root, right? And the next piece? Yeah, the same thing again. And what happens when you multiply this guy and this guy? What would you get? If you're multiplying this guy and this guy together, aren't you essentially squaring that? So the square root would die and you would just get x plus 4. It's imperative that we understand that. Do we have questions on it so far? If you don't ask, that means you understand it completely. So if you don't understand it completely, it's your job to ask. And if you don't understand it, you don't ask, shame on you. So we're good? Okay. What would I want to do at this point? I'm not going to want to get it equal to 0 at this point because there's still a radical in there. And if you look back at how we solved this, we always isolated the radical and squared it away, right? essentially this problem as it sits right now is almost identical to the two problems we did before it, now that we've taken the extra work ahead of time. How about we combine our like terms? So I've got 3x plus 1 equals. What are some things I can combine here? 1 and 4, clearly, so that would be 5. I've got that x. And what's this plus this? Now notice we're adding this time, not multiplying. If I've got one of these and I add another one to it, you've got 2 of them. So that would be plus 2 square roots of x plus 4. We'll have to finish this next time.